Welcome back to another week of They Don't Want It. I'm here with ex-footballers Reni Maitua and Darcy Lussick. Guys, how's the weekend?
Went a bit pear-shaped Saturday, but it started well Thursday. Watched the footy with Big Willie Mason.
Nice.
It's always a bit of a laugh watching footy with him. We watched Manly Dolphins. Started off well Friday. Footy. Saturday, got to play touch footy with all my Maroubra boys, and as I said, it went pear-shaped on Saturday night.
Lovely. Should we go into a bit of detail or leave it?
No detail. I'm actually 20 hours fasted right now, doing 72. Bit of a reset.
I'm sure the smell of food over there is not doing you too well, is it?
It's tough. The big fella here loves eating, so.
We do.
Yeah.
Darcy, how's the weekend?
Mate, nothing like my previous weekend, so nothing to report this week.
Got to take a week off just to recoup.
One on, one off. See how we go this weekend.
I tell you what, Darcy, you're looking very tanned.
Yeah.
You got a bit of Samoan in you or what? Tongan?
Well,
hey, you're darker than me. What's your secret?
Mate, just a healthy diet. Out in
the
that's it. They're calling to start the show.
Those northern beaches, there must be sun over the northern beaches, nothing down south.
Yeah.
Let's get into our Freak of the Week this week. Obviously, both of you guys pick a player that you enjoy watching from the previous week. I'll start with you, Ren. Who have you got for me?
I got Ezra, man. There's a few candidates, but my player of the week, or freak of the week, as you just called it, Ezra. He's such a gifted player, especially with Reynolds out. Everyone was sort of wanted to see how he'd go and controlling a Brisbane side. That was a tough game for him. But Ezra, he's special, and he's thereabouts for Origin. My special mentions would be Joey Manu. And that flick pass to Dom Young, he was just wreaking havoc for the Warriors side. Sam Walker's kick from dummy half across 50 metres across field for Toops. That's freakish, man. That was backyard footy kind of stuff. So there was a few moments. Dom Young was outstanding. I think he ran for about 250 metres in the first half. Roosters are flying.
Yep.
Big game against the Sharks this week, but they're flying.
Speaking of the Sharks and speaking of Sixers having to stand up, who's your Freak of the Week this week, mate?
Mate, to be honest, this is not disrespectful. I had no idea who this kid was before the start of this weekend. Daniel Atkinson. I thought he stepped up in the absence of Trindle and Nico versus Melbourne. So I thought he was good. He's out of the Melbourne system. Mate, he's a good player.
Queenslander too.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. But he's good.
Speaking of systems, this wasn't my take on things, but I heard Wade Graham speak about systems and Sharks, Melbourne, Penrith, their system and how players can come into key positions and just play their role. So all of a sudden, the system's taking over the side.
Yeah.
You can just take someone off the conveyor belt and put them in. And that's where how far the Sharks have come to put this young kid in to fit into a system. I really love that analogy from Wade Graham. I thought it was outstanding.
Well, when I seen that Nico was out against Melbourne, I thought, there's no chance here, sort of getting around. But he was good, fit straight in. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play some more this year. Yeah,
definitely stood up. And as you said, particularly without Nico, who generally loves to run this side. He runs both sides of the ruck. They named Cam McInnes at halfback, but he was just playing that running role.
Yep.
You look at Daniel Atkinson's stats and they don't jump out at you, but when you actually go back and watch the game, he was in everything and absolutely everything, and it was so good to watch.
Speaking of young halves, I've got to give that Ethan Strange a rap too. So you've got Kartai, you've got that kid. Ethan Strange, man. Canberra half.
Yeah.
How strong is he? He's only 19. Who else is there? There's a couple of young halves at the moment. We always say, there's not a lot of halves around, but there seems to be some. Just this year, we've noticed a few kids make their debuts and they're doing well.
Well, obviously in the media, a lot, just recently has been Isaiah Katoa at the Dolphins.
Yeah,
how much he stood up as a 20-year-old.
Yeah, he's having someone like Wayne, but I think Wolfie, the assistant coach, isn't getting enough raps. I mean, Wayne is the leader of the Godfather that everyone sort of looks up to, but Wolfie, he did amazing things for the Tongan team. He was a coach.
And
still is the
Helens.
coach.
And
St. Helens. The Tongan team that beat Australia.
Yeah.
He's going to be a coach of the future, and usually coaches fall off when Wayne leaves. I don't think he's going to fall off. The Dolphins will be a team to beat in the coming years.
Now, obviously, in that Sharks game, we did have a pretty controversial call. Harry Grant obviously got sent to the sin bin off some contact on Daniel Atkinson. What are our thoughts on this one, Darcy? I'll start with you, mate.
Yeah, it's Freddie stuffed this for everyone, didn't he? So it's just like it's so well done, Fred.
Bloody Lussick, man.
Yeah, I know. But like it's just I actually don't mind it now because it's clear, it's black and white. You can't touch the kicker. Like you know, you can put the kick pressure on, but then you know how much kick pressure can you put on now if you're that scared to put on to sort of come in contact with the kicker. But you know he only just brushed him, but I think he got $1,000 fine or something like that. But it's just
he fought it, didn't he? He's going to
fight it. Yeah,
he's fighting the $1,000 fine.
Yeah,
good on him.
Yeah,
I think. Look, I'm happy with the decision to protect the kickers. Yeah, he just brushed his leg, but why didn't Harry Grant take him out?
Yeah,
he was attacking him from the inside shoulder from marker.
Yeah,
he had ample opportunity to put his shoulder through his rib cage.
Yeah,
and then he ran past the legs and it clipped him.
Yeah,
that was a confusing scenario for me with Harry Grant. I thought you could have buried that kid.
I know.
But you ran past, you clipped the leg. All right, penalty, sin bin. Yeah, it's soft. You've drawn a line in the sand now. Every person that makes contact with the kickers with legs is in the sin bin. Now, everyone's saying there's been 11 other incidents this year. Freddie probably did start this. You know, Lockie Ilias had a terrible break.
Yeah.
And this is the problem with our game. We have so many rules, so many interpretations. We tend to make up things as we go, and that therefore it creates controversy within the media, fans, because there's no consistency. We've created this monster. You got to have these black and white rules set from the start. Set from the start of the year. Contact with the legs, sin bin. As you make them up on the go, that's when there becomes more pressure on the referees.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with it. I'm fine with it. It was soft. It was minimal contact. He didn't get injured. But if we're going to set a precedent, we started it there.
I mean, we obviously had the Jesse Bromwich hit on Tom Trbojevic as well, which tapped him. And then that got given a penalty as well. I guess we've had two really soft penalties given away. Does there need to be an element of common sense implemented with these rules as well?
Yeah, but it's just hard. It's like you come in contact with the head. Well, what do you grade it? How hard it was? If he's injured, you know, it's just like I wouldn't want the job as a referee because you're going to get hammered either way. But all the punters and the fans and the supporters and even the players, the coaches, they just want consistency. That's what I think.
Yeah.
You know, they want consistency. Whereas if this happens to us, sweet, we know if they do it, it's going to happen to them. But it's a very grey area.
You can't have grey area in our game. There is a common sense element that does come into it. But everyone's interpretation of common sense is different.
Yeah.
Whose common sense is the correct common sense?
Yeah.
But the thing that would piss me off about that was Turbo did a professional foul 5 minutes before it.
Yeah.
He took out someone who was trying to get the ball. I think it was Avarillo.
Yeah.
So he should have been in the bin for 10 minutes. 5 minutes later, he gets tapped on the face. He gets a penalty, laughs about it. They kick it down the field. They get another penalty, and then they kick for goal, and it becomes a drawn game, you know?
Yeah.
Luckily, Dolphins went on to win the game.
Yeah.
But that's the snowball effect. It's if you want to play to the letter of the law, Turbo shouldn't have even been on the field before he got slapped in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's soft.
So
it's a very soft look for our game for Bromwich to accidentally touch him on the face and it gets penalised. You know, like
at the end of the day, it's rugby league, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like we're playing, it's a friggin' tough sport, like a brutal sport at times. But I guess it's the way it's going. It's sort of losing that a little bit.
Yeah.
So both of you guys are pro consistency over common sense.
I don't know. It's hard.
Well, that's what like I just said. Everyone's interpretation of common sense is different, and the referees, they just don't seem to be on the same page across the board. And I come back to what I said last week. It all comes down to their leadership.
Do you think they're a bit gun shy? Like, do you think they go, or are they worried about if they send someone off, or you know? Or
do you reckon he was gun shy not to penalise Bromwich? If he just went nah, but then it came out it's contact with the head.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like, remember the days of Bill Harrigan and who was the one with the beard? Far out. But they were just like, they had that much ego and that much arrogance as referees. They were that confident in their decisions. They just made the decision and backed it.
Yeah.
And there was no ifs or buts. It was just, that's what it is.
But do you think as well the bunker has a big part to play in that as well? Because they obviously do make.
Let's not get back into the bunker. We've spoken about it. Like there was just two soft penalties. But within the letter of the law, they are penalties.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens over the next few weeks and how consistent they are with this rule as well.
We'll be talking about it next week.
For sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm hoping that we don't get to next week and there's a similar instance with like what we saw with Harry Grant and there's no penalty blown and there's no sin bin.
Yeah.
If they want to implement this now, they've got to be really strict on it moving forward. Let's talk about some of the injuries. Obviously, over the past week, we've seen Cleary go down for multiple weeks now. He's going to miss the State of Origin series. Turbo's going to miss State of Origin now as well. Jason Saab, AC joint. We've had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, look, it's concerning. I honestly think the weather had something to do with all these injuries. You know, we've had torrential rain for 2 weeks and the fields are heavy. They had heavy rain up in Queensland as well.
Training on heavy.
It was bound to happen eventually, you know. You must have soft underfoot.
Yeah.
You know, players fatigue.
Yeah.
How many kicks is Cleary doing a week at training? Even if it's his left hammy, I'm not sure if it's his left or right. He's still, you know, if he's kicking, if it's his right, obviously that's his kicking leg. If it's his left, that's his stabiliser.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of tension and pressure and repeat efforts on their legs. Turbo's had, and they both had ongoing hamstring injuries.
Yeah.
It's not like it was just like these random hamstring injury for either of them. Yeah, I actually listened to Brandy Alexander and Vossi. They interviewed a physio, and he was talking about during the COVID period, there was far more injuries. Well, you gave me a stat before the show that there was
13 injuries per round at the moment.
At the moment, it was 15 during COVID.
Yep.
So that proved his theory was that during COVID, the players might have been a bit more underdone, and they weren't battle hardened for NRL. But now I think we've probably had a lot more wet weather this year.
Yeah.
So I think the weather definitely has something to do with it.
I think some scheduling as well. Like I know I was listening to Adam O'Brien talk about it a little bit before. Like they had 3 games in 12 days, and I think they might have even had to fly in between a few places. So, you know, it's the fatigue. You know, the game's getting faster, players are getting bigger, stronger. Like the pecs, you know, it's just sometimes your body just can't handle the collisions or. But yeah, it's just
ball in play.
Yeah.
You know, so they're running a lot quicker under fatigue.
Yeah.
And even for the Warriors as well, we were speaking about the Roosters game before. They had Roger Tuivasa-Sheck and Marcelo Montoya go down during the week before the game, had training. Obviously, Roger's out for 2 to 6 weeks, which is the really lengthy timeline for him to return for a hamstring injury. These hammies are getting out of control.
Yeah, that'd be annoying, if you got a 2 to 6 week diagnosis. Yeah. Like, is it 2 to 3, 2 to 6? Like, where does that leave me?
I know.
Somewhere in the middle.
About 4.
I'll take 4.
Compromise for 4.
That's a physio that's second guessing their own diagnosis.
100%.
Have a crack, physio. Just make it fucking 4.
Well, what about this as well? In terms of stats, around half of the starting halfbacks in the NRL are out with injury at the moment. Sean Johnson, Nico Hines, Nathan Cleary, Tanner Boyd at the moment as well, Jamal Fogarty, Adam Reynolds, both done their biceps. That's insane stuff.
There's a lot of halves, isn't it? And that just probably plays into what we've just been saying, is that, you know, the game is getting faster, players are getting bigger, ball in play, wet weather. Yeah, obviously they're fatiguing.
And do you think it's
cramps?
Yeah.
Been a heap of cramps too.
Reece Walsh. When him and Adam Reynolds both went off with cramps in that Tigers game.
You know what? They play hand in hand, don't they? Really? If cramps and hamstrings, like that's muscle fatigue.
In my career, I was never running fast enough for a hamstring.
I didn't even know I had hammies.
Yeah, I've never strained a hamstring in my life. So I don't know what I'm giving my opinion on it.
How many forwards do hamstrings?
Yeah, not many.
Not many.
No.
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
No, well, we've had a few forwards go down with ACLs, but that's about it in terms
I didn't
of
have
legs.
footwork either, so my knees were sweet.
Yeah.
Just run hard, tackle hard for you, Darcy.
That's it.
Yeah, look, it's hectic how many injuries we've got at the moment, particularly for the Blues leading into this Origin series, which we'll get to in a second. But yeah, just really hectic, and obviously wishing all of these guys that are injured the best over the next few weeks. Now, let's talk about this because this broke today. KP, third-party investigation. The NRL has opened an investigation into whether Newcastle have breached a salary cap due to a third-party deal involving superstar Kalyn Ponga. The report states new information has since come to light, which questions whether the deal was at arm's length from the club. What are our thoughts of this?
It's a developing story, and it's a little bit strange. I've kept an eye on it just from what I've read and what you've just read, but apparently his dad's gone to the NRL.
Yep.
So the third-party deal has nothing to do with the club, and the NRL had approved it.
Yep.
So I'm trying to find the angle of why his dad's gone to the NRL.
I think, personally, sorry for cutting you off.
No. I'd have
from
no idea.
experience, I think that he probably hasn't been paid. You know?
Well, he hasn't been paid.
Yeah.
That's why they've gone to
They've
them.
gone.
But why would he go to the NRL?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I think he's just try and find a way to get paid. Like,
Yeah, well, I think that's why he's gone to the NRL, so he does get his money. But what can the NRL do? Is he asking the NRL for help? And if it's deemed that Newcastle weren't at arm's length and are an associate of the third party, then he's just throwing the club under the bus.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
It's a strange one. It's developing, and more will come out of it. But at the end of the day, I'm sick of seeing, and I've seen it so many times where players don't get third-party agreements. Whether it's on paper or a handshake agreement, it's happened so many times. So many times it's happened to people I know of where they just... You know, you sign the big deal, the club, you know, they make you happy, and then they just renege on shit. Yep. It's happened. Yep. I'm just sick of that shit. So if he's owed money, pay him his money. Just because he's on the 1.4 million, if he had an agreement with someone, don't be a scumbag. Be a man of your word and pay him. Like, I'd love to see what comes of it with the Newcastle situation and where this third party came from. But at the end of the day, players have been shit on far too many times. Pay them their money.
And the thing with a third party, you know, you get enticed to a club for a third party.
Of course.
That's where you're going to make your money up. The club get you, and then at the end of the day, well, if he gets paid his third party, we don't really give a shit.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? And then it upsets, you know, the player, and then it causes this big drama. Like, if you promise a player the money, fucking pay them.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen it so many times.
So many times.
I've been on the end of it, but personally, that's why I'm still a bit fired up about it.
Sorry to bring up a little bit, and I'm flashback actually.
Which one? Which club?
Is it similar to what's happened to you in the past, though? This sort of similar situation?
I've had third parties not pay up in the past. Yeah, I've had third parties not pay up in the past, and it's like it's frustrating because usually that's
what gets you over the line.
That's what gets you over the line. You know, you think, well, I could have gone here for this, but you know, they said, oh, help us out, we'll do this and that. You know what I mean? So But then when it comes to it, they go, well, it's got nothing to do with us. Well, it does fucking have something to do with you.
Yeah. And managers have got a lot to answer for in that situation too, because we trust that a manager is going to make sure that you get that third party. Like if it's a handshake, we're men, you know, and we're young kids when we're signing these deals. We trust the people we're around.
Yeah.
If it's a handshake, you think, all right, it's they're a man of their word. They're going to pay me my money. But it's happened plenty of times. It's fucking happened a lot. Everything's, you know, there's far more money in the game and everything's a bit more above board. But yeah, I'm just sick of that shit.
Now, thinking of the worst possible scenario here, say this goes sideways and the NRL finds something with the Newcastle Knights.
Well, then
I don't think it won't be like, you know, the Bulldogs. It won't be like point deduction or anything. I can't see it.
A similar situation happened with Manly between the 2013-2017 period. 2018, they were fined to $750,000.
Well, it's all a hypothetical, and if it is hypothetically the case, then his dad's snitched.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any better for KP. He doesn't get paid, and his dad's a snitch.
Yeah.
So look, I like to believe that his father is a good manager of his finances and his son's career. And I hope he hasn't jeopardised his club.
Yeah, best case scenario, KP gets paid and this gets put behind us.
Absolutely.
So let's see what happens.
Send me some money, KP.
I'd like a piece of that too. Dave Fifita to the Roosters. Speaking of guys getting the bag, what about this signing, Das?
Well, we sort of talked about it last week as well, didn't we? We said, when the Roosters come in, they rarely miss. The only thing that I sort of am a bit worried about, does he fit their sort of style of play, the Roosters? Like, they are very defence-orientated, work really hard for each other. They've got a proven back row there, Angus Crichton, who's playing out of his skin, who runs that hard line. He stays in the system the whole time. And then there's David, who's a bit off the cuff, drifts in and out of games. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think to be like, you got to have a good defensive system, like no matter what team you are. And he needs to fit into whatever defensive system it is. I get what you're saying. He's if you look at the way Roosters are attacking the last couple of weeks, that suits. That suits Dave Fifita. Get him early ball on the edge, let him do his thing. Whereas when they're playing Radley deep into the line, he more or less has to just run that hard line inside the 3-man. And not that he can't do it. He's just far more dangerous when you give him the ball and say, hey, go for it. It is, I like what you said there when you question whether he'll fit into the system when you've got a proven back rower that's going through a purple patch now in Crichton. Crichton's 28. How old's Fifita? 24?
Yeah, 24.
So
going on 25.
It could be a genius move that they don't let their players play too long, and you miss out on someone like a Fifita. So you're doing a mini rebuild without doing a rebuild. I think it could be a genius move. And I saw Crichton's comments that no one had spoken to him.
We'll touch on that in a second because obviously there's been some rumours about Crichton as well.
All right, go for it.
But firstly, do you think that the Panthers and the Rabbitohs go for Angus Crichton and don't throw the money at him, the war chest?
Well, 28's still not that old.
No. Yeah.
He's still coming into his peak.
He could get a good 3-year deal.
Easy.
Yeah.
South, big chance.
Yeah.
You know, coming from the South system before. And Penrith, like, far out. They're both two clubs that he would consider.
Yeah.
It seems to me like the writing's on the wall if they haven't spoken to him yet, especially if he's vocal about it, you can see that he's frustrated.
Yeah.
You don't just talk to the media unless you got the shits.
Yeah.
You know, he could have kept that in-house, but if it's really genuinely like, hang on, what's going on here?
Yeah.
There's always, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Well, the quote, it almost sounded like as well, as Darcy checks his Snapchat again, that
I'm seeing what's going on next.
the quote actually made it sound like he had no idea that Fifita was coming to the club or that he'd be replaced in that sort of way as well, which is just bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, him coming out to the media, like Brendan said, that shows that he's frustrated, probably a little bit hurt as well. Like he's playing out of his skin. He's been there for a while.
Yeah.
Especially what he's come back from last year, without going into it. You know, he's had a few dramas the last 12 months.
But like, he's in a good position, you know what I mean? But he obviously wants to be at the Roosters, which is a big credit to the Roosters. When you go to the Roosters, no one wants to leave the Roosters.
Yeah.
So, but he's in a very good position now, off contract, playing out of his skin. He's probably going to get picked for
State of Origin.
Like, you know, and there's teams out there that will snap him up in a second.
Yeah.
So he's about to get paid regardless.
Yeah, no way. Like, it's not only Penrith and South that need him. There's plenty of clubs that could take him.
Dragons will probably throw at him. Or
We spoke about the Dogs last week.
Gold Coast.
Wallabies.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that they organise Crichton to go to the Gold Coast? If they've taken Fifita from the Gold Coast?
Imagine what the Wallabies would throw at him as playing as a 12. Like, NRL players, they go there, they go play straight for the Wallabies. Like, that's just the quality of athlete we have in our game over
Do you
that
think
game.
he'd be a 12 in rugby union?
Well, what else would he be? He'd be a 12. He'd be hitting inside the. He'd just be bash and barge, bash, turn and set. He wouldn't be an outside back. He's not fast enough. He's just a 12. That's what a 12 does in rugby union, just another back rower. And you travel the world, you get probably double the money. You get a Waratah contract, and you get a Wallaby contract.
Yeah.
He could probably earn 1.52 mil a year.
Yeah.
I would take that into serious consideration. I think being 28, though, you still want to test yourself in the NRL.
Yeah.
You know, it's a World Cup year coming up soon too, isn't it? Oh, in the rugby union? Oh, who cares about that game?
Yeah.
But anyway, there's big money to be made and travel the world and nowhere near as hard on your body.
Yeah.
He could probably play to his 35, finish over in Japan where they play 12 games a year. So he's in a really strong position at a good age. He's just got to make a really tough decision on what he wants to do in terms of his sporting career.
If you're Angus Crichton, are you going to rugby now, or are you going to try your hardest to get?
Oh, well, that's my point. That's the position he's in. He's 28. He's in the peak.
Yeah.
In his peak.
But if you were Angus Crichton,
I'm going where the money is.
Yeah.
Like 28.
It's easy for us to say that now. Like I was always, there's plenty of opportunities where I could have chased money.
Yeah.
And he kind of regret it now because,
Well, yeah, I actually do one now.
We're going to bring up Toronto again here.
that's twice on my podcast, mate.
Yeah, look, he's in the driver's seat. Just I would drag it out as long as possible. I'll get through Origin. And if he can win a premiership this year without making a decision yet, fucking bring on the Wallabies.
Yeah, not
Bring
bad.
the checkbook in.
So rumours have come out during the week that he could be making that return to the Rabbitohs. Do you think...
You won't give up on the Rabbitohs, will you?
I know.
You just
I won't,
love
but
your
that's what the
bunnies.
rumour
He
is.
wants us
I'm
to
talking
say
about
yes,
the
say
rumour.
yes, and then we can
Yeah,
move on.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm just reporting.
Yes, he's going to the
Yes, he's
Rabbitohs.
going to the Rabbitohs.
You've reported
Who else do
Rabbits
you
3
want there?
times.
Who else do you want there?
I'm just talking about what's
Cleary
been
to the
reported.
Rabbitohs.
That would be nice. That would be nice. I wouldn't mind that at all. Fuck, we need him. Let's go through the actual quote that we touched on before with Angus Crichton. The actual quote from Channel 9 was, "No one's talked to me, and I'm not sure if they will. It does make you question where their head's at. If you want to be playing well and getting the best out of myself, I don't want to be sitting behind anyone."
It's a great quote.
He sounds pissed off.
Yeah.
Pissed off.
Crichton to the Rabbits.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Let's
I like
move
that.
on.
I like that. Let's go to Origin.
What happened to my dogs? I thought we were going to talk about the Bulldogs.
Let's talk about the Bulldogs for a minute. Talk to me about your doggies. Panthers, big game, and obviously performed very well.
I've got to touch on the Dogs.
Yeah, you got to touch.
Former club.
Have to.
But what was the line? What were they given? 13.5 start or something like that?
I think it got up to 15 before the game.
15. I don't know who these experts are that are. I wish I actually backed that. Because I thought, look, they were outstanding. Like to go to Penrith on a Friday night in the wet and put up a fight. They were pulling them apart early. They just got too excited. When they saw these opportunities on the edges, they just needed to cool the jets a little bit and just get to a point where someone stood up and said, "Hey, let's just kick to a corner. Let's just," because the back end of the first half is when they started to make a lot of errors. Penrith scored 2 tries. But they just showed for anyone that's a Bulldog supporter, how in this competition they are.
Yep.
They just needed to, a few crucial areas, too many penalties. And I'll show you. I've got some stats today.
Go for it. Get the stats up. Stats
You
man.
stats man.
I am the
he's still on
stats
my
man.
job.
Doing your job.
He's
No,
still on
I'm
my
just
job.
proud of this club, man. Especially for Serrata to just turn this club around. Last year they were last in defensive.
Yep.
They
were
across
last.
the board.
They were last in missed. They had the 3rd most missed tackles.
So I saw this online today. Post contact meters per run by an opponent.
Yeah.
First. Pre-contact meters per run by opponent, first. So their line speed's the best. Tackles made, 3rd. Tries conceded, 3rd. Line breaks conceded, 4th. For a team to turn that around in 12 months, regardless of how many different signings they've had, they still got to fall into a system that Serrato's implementing.
Yeah.
And within 10 rounds, they're almost the best defensive team in the competition.
Now, I will correct myself so I don't lose my stat job, but they were first for missed tackles last season with nearly 1,000.
That's right. Missed tackles weren't great on the weekend. I think they 50.
Their edge back rowers missed a few.
I thought they were the better team. They were just like, for a longer period, there were just moments they let themselves down.
Can't question their effort or their commitment or working for each other. It's just a little bit of polish.
Yeah.
Really.
And I mean, we've brought it up before, their forward pack, the size of their forward pack too. Kurtman, Bailey Hayward, some of these really smaller guys.
But remember I spoke to you a few weeks ago when I said they're pulling the trigger in yardage.
Yep.
So they're getting to their edges. That's where they're going. That's where they're getting all their meters because they know their strength is on the edge. And then when they need to go through the middle, they'll go through the middle. There's no point in trying to go and challenge Penrith through the middle.
Yeah.
They're just a more superior pack, size-wise, bigger. So they just got to play to their strengths. And probably Jason Taylor might need to get some raps behind this because he is their attacking coach.
And you know what's insane as well with the Bulldogs' performance? That was Penrith's best game this year by far.
Yeah, they haven't been
the Bulldogs
playing well.
played
you're right.
unbelievable. They kept it between, with a 6-point margin by the end of the game. Just insane. And Bronson Sherry and Josh Adokar, what about them on that left edge as well?
And Burton and Kicks.
Yeah, they carved up.
Crichton, that's the strongest I've seen him carry out of the backfield.
Yeah.
And that's where I question whether I wanted him in Origin, but seeing him carry the ball as strong as he did, and I know it's playing against his mates and his former club. I want to see that every week.
Yeah.
Like he was trying to genuinely bend the line, like break it.
Yeah.
Like it was just like Penrith wall. And it shows, and it just gave you a good indication of where the Dogs are at. They just needed to just tidy up a few areas, less penalties. Man, and they'll be knocking on top 4.
Yeah.
I don't know what their run's like for the next 10 rounds. I need to have a closer look at it. I don't know how many top teams they've played. Penrith, Roosters. They have played the Sharks. I'm not sure. But good signs.
Yeah, great signs. And obviously this coming week as well, they've got a massive test for them to get back into the top 8 as well.
Canberra.
Yeah.
Fuck, they're a gritty team as well.
Canberra off the bye, and it's 61% of the time teams off the bye win this season. So huge test.
Huge test.
Plus Canberra get Rapana back too at fullback.
If they want to be a genuine threat in this competition, they need to win this game.
Yeah.
Like they need to beat Canberra. Like Canberra are gritty, but if you can put them to the sword kind of early, they can tend to fade away a little bit.
Yep.
You keep them in the grind, and that's when it's a 50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Great signs.
Thank you for letting me bring up my dogs.
You're welcome. Well, I thought that me bringing up the Rabbitohs was only fair to let you have a little bit of a...
Have we got something on Manly?
No, unfortunately. Sorry, mate. Let's talk about the Origin sides now that we can get back to that.
Yeah.
Das, what are your changes this week, mate?
So, obviously with Turbo out, I've gone with Adokar on the wing. I thought his form's been pretty good. He's been there before. Won't be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Now the halves, this is where it gets tricky. I'm going Hines and Moses, providing that Moses gets through the next game.
He's out this week.
Is he out this week?
He is out this week, yeah.
Well, I'm still backing him after one game.
Yeah.
You're backing him?
Yeah.
I can't back him.
Yeah, but you can't really tell until it's time to pick. But who are you going to put in there?
Mate, I'm going Nico and Burton. So I've got Nico's made his way into the team for me.
Yep.
I know he missed last week. It's 1 week, but he should be back. He's been named this week.
He's been named this week.
Yeah. And Birdo's playing really good on that left edge, left foot kick. Nico in form. Moses been out 7 weeks. I can't pick someone with one or two. One game before an Origin. And I heard Willie Mason say it. He ain't Joey. And I say that respectfully.
Yep.
You got to give someone like Nico, who's right up there with the Dally M's, probably the best half in the competition.
Yeah. I think he's second.
Birdo playing really strong. Really strong.
He's playing tough at the moment.
Yeah.
And those kicks, far out.
Yeah.
The bombs.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's going to be so great in Origin, just watching him put up a few of those.
Well, if he
Is
gets
that the greatest night of your year, Origin night?
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
great. I look forward to it.
What do you usually do on Origin night?
What do I usually do on Origin night? Well, I'm going to game on this year.
Oh shit!
Where is
That's in
game
Big
one?
Grouse. It's at a call.
Is it a call?
Homebush is going to be a fucking
June 5th.
punish to get out of. Yeah.
Where's the second game? Is it in Melbourne?
Yes.
Melbourne.
Yeah, Melbourne. And then Suncorp, game 3.
Oh, that'll be good.
Suncorp decider is going to be...
Just wrap it up in the first 2.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to Suncorp for a decider.
Fuck that.
But it'd be bittersweet to wrap it up there.
Mm.
Hostile.
New South Wales 13 plus, baby. Now, Ren, you've obviously brought in Zach Lomax this week.
Yep. I'm going to keep... it was tough. I thought about putting Critter out in the wing, and bringing Katoni in, but I like... You can't deny Zach, and he kicked another 40-metre field goal, just like on the stroke of half time. It's a bong. That could be a deciding factor in an Origin.
Yeah.
Hey, we need points. 40 out. Zach's there. Put it over, son.
Yeah.
I just think he's done enough. He's done enough to get his Origin spot.
Yeah. What about you? Obviously had Addo-Carr.
Yeah, but I really like that. Yeah, I think he's been the form winger of the year. I know he kept saying that I don't like playing wing, but mate, you're a freak on the wing.
I think he'd accept an Origin.
Yeah,
5
100%.
or an
he'd do
Origin
anything for
number
that,
2,
wouldn't he?
and he's a genuine right winger.
Yeah,
And someone that's so good in the air going up against 2 really large wingers, obviously for Queensland in Cobbo and Coates. I think that's going to be so valuable for them.
Look, the thing Maguire has said as well is he's picking off form now. He's not going off reputation, anything like that. So
Well, he might not have a choice now with form, with all the injuries we're having. There'll be,
we have how many
glad
more
I'm
games?
not
Is there 2 games to go until
2 games they pick.
Yeah, 2 games.
far out. Anything can happen in the next 2 games.
Yeah.
as we've seen.
Yep. Yep.
Let's talk about Queensland. Obviously, Tom Flegler, Wayne Bennett's come out in the presser and said that he could be out for the rest of the season with this AC joint injury, which is just hectic for him. It looks like he's really just in the rehab process. It just hasn't been going well at all. Who would you put in jersey number 17 for Tom Flegler?
I don't care about Queensland, Les. I don't care who they put there. No, I think I accidentally left Fifita out the other week.
Yes, you did.
So Fifita comes in. Who's my other benchies?
You got Harry Grant, Jaden Sewer, Mo Fodawaker.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Happy with that? Who would you chuck in, sorry to throw you under the bus?
Ezra, the 18th man.
Ezra, 18th
He
man?
could make a surprise. Yeah, I don't know. He could just pop up in the team somewhere.
Do you reckon he
remember
could
when they remember they picked Matty Bowen? He
Michael
scored
Morgan? That's how he came in.
Michael Morgan and Ezra, nothing alike. I'm talking
I know,
about
but I
Matty
mean
Bowen, the Ezra
In terms
man,
of Ezra,
couple of
coming into
Indigenous boys,
Queensland.
at least Ti. Remember when Matty Bowen scored that intercept try to win them the game? Bloody Kamali.
Ti, as in like Ti.
Torres Strait. No, Ezra. I think Ezra. He'll go close.
Yeah.
He'll go really close. Billy Slater. He's so calculated. I got to speak to him after the Brisbane Dolphins game about a month ago.
Yeah.
And I've known Billy just from playing against him, and I got to sit with him and I just picked his brain about footy. Man, he's just so intelligent, so relaxed. I didn't want to go into his picks or anything like that, but the way he sort of answered my questions were just like, yeah, I've got a plan, but we'll see how it goes. And he's got it all mapped out. Every scenario. Even I love listening to his takes on footy. Like he's a genius. His IQ for the game is incredible.
Yeah, it is. It's unreal. Even that podcast that he runs with Channel 9 is just so good.
Yeah.
Who would you pick for Queensland jersey 17 for Tom Flegler?
I've got Felice Kafusi.
Yeah, not bad. Obviously, you had similar back rowers, I think, to me, Fifita and Nanai.
Yeah. Well, I think you can maybe put him in the middle if you have to. It's tough.
He's got the hairdo.
Yeah, he got the hairdo. And like I said, if you're an opposition, you probably don't, if you're looking out for him, So.
And we've sort of brushed over your winger choice. You've had a bit of a change. in your wingers.
Yeah, I'm going Mariner. So I'll have Cobbo on the left wing, and I'll go Mariner on the right wing.
What's your thinking behind that?
Just a genuine right winger, and just how quick he is. He's quick. Man, if he finds space, see you later. No one's touching him. And that's that Queensland side, man. Reece Walsh, Mariner, Ezra, all these Queenslanders, they're just fucking lightning.
He'll be next to Valentine Holmes, you'd think, as well, because Val would be on the right side. So just Val breaking the line and giving him some
a
decent
left
ball.
centre.
Yeah, but Val goes over to the right for Origin. Hamaso plays on the left.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you go on that right side, it'd be Dean and Val Holmes.
Look, Coates gets picked. You know, he's been there, he's done that. He's a big body. But Mariner, and this is what Queensland do, they just pick smokies. Like, they don't care if you could. They perform. Yeah. You could play one good game in Queensland Cup, and they could bring you up, and you'll do a job. Legit.
Yeah, seriously.
They've done that in the past.
Yeah, no, look, it's a big call. It's definitely a smoky call.
Oh, but we don't care.
Yeah, we don't care.
I like
We're
it, though.
cockroaches, man.
I don't mind it. I really
Don't worry
don't.
about those toads. On and off the field.
I'm going to throw something at you. I want to see what you guys think. I've gone to put Dave Fifita back to the bench. I'm starting Jaden Sewer, and I've got Kurt Mann in jersey 17.
Yeah,
What are your
I like
thoughts on that?
Yeah.
It's very similar to the. What are you laughing at?
I'm fucking still laughing before. Yeah. Go, Kurt Mann.
Kurt Mann, similar to the whole McInnes, Connor Watson theory. You know, like they're quick feet around the ruck. They got they can move.
No, I was going to say sorry, guys. I took a breath. No, I was struggling to breathe. No, it's like when, like Kurt Mann, when they brought Ponga debuted in the back row, and everyone's going, "What the fuck are they doing?" And then come on, it's the greatest performance from an Origin back row ever.
Yeah.
He's never played back row. It's just Queensland. They just get it.
Yeah,
don't
they just get it. I don't know what it is.
Pisses
We've
me
been
off.
trying to
Good
put
on
our
them.
finger on it for years and years, and I'm sick of people saying that New South Wales aren't passionate. We're fucking passionate. Like they're just better.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? New South Wales 13 plus. Yeah, look, I'm keen to see how these sides get shaped. And yeah, look, I mean, with Queensland, anyone could get picked on the day. How far do you reckon, obviously Ben Hunt's getting to the older side of his career? The pointy end. How far is Reid Marnie off of getting a crack?
He could do a job.
Yeah.
But
I think,
you got
Harry Grant.
Harry Grant. Yeah, but is Harry going to play 80 minutes when Ben Hunt retires?
Yeah. Of course.
Ben Hunt doesn't look like he's slowing down. He's going good, you know. And, mate, when he plays Origin, he goes to another level, Ben Hunt.
Yeah, he's been probably one of the best the last few years.
He's
Kicking game. And he's changed the game many a times. In the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember what it is, but the last 5-6 years, we should have won at least 4 or 5 out of 7 or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, especially when Queensland had like the worst team ever, and they beat us, and then Ben Hunt's performance.
Remember Cherry's award acceptance?
Yeah, fuck, even decent.
Thank you from the worst team ever.
What a legend.
I love that kind of behaviour.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is, what it happens when they put that jersey on, or why they seem to come back. Yeah, it's been rough being a New South Wales supporter for the last sort of...
It has been. But
well, you grew up just watching Queensland win.
Yeah.
You missed the glorious days of the 90s, mate. You were just a thought.
I don't think I was a thought, mate.
You were just in your father. You were still in your father's.
Realization, that's what I was.
In your father. You're still in your father's sack. Fuck, you weren't too far off either.
No, I wasn't. I was definitely not a thought. I was a regret.
Join the club.
Heavy mistake, regret. Thanks, Dad.
Origin bolters. Let's get into some Origin bolters. I'm going to throw a few names at you, and I just want your take as to how far off you think these guys are from making Origin. Let's start off with the Blues. Mitch Kenny.
You could say he's a bolter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be in the mix.
Yeah. In the mix,
Him, Reece Robson, Cam McInnes. They're the three. Well, obviously, Uppy will be the big
Well, Cam McInnes was going to be my next one.
Yeah.
How far off? There's a bunch of rumours with him.
He's playing tough enough.
There's been strong rumours that he's probably played his way into the team. I do like Cam McInnes. I just find that Connor Watson might offer a little bit more in attack, especially having two inexperienced Origin halves in Burton and Nico.
Yeah.
So if they fall apart, and when our attack's not doing much, I'd probably want Nico, Connor Watson in my side to create something around the ruck.
Yeah.
That's my thought there. Ken McInnes deserves a Origin spot, but I'm still just sticking with the chemistry of this team, the team I've got in my head. I want Connor Watson in it.
Yeah. Now, a guy that's played under Madge, who I've got here as a bit of a smoky, Luke Keary. No.
Too many head knocks. Can't lose your half 5 minutes into a head knock.
Yeah.
I love him.
Skill-wise, for sure.
Absolutely.
But you just, I don't know if you can risk it.
Yeah. Has he made himself available?
Not sure.
I'm pretty sure he hasn't said anything otherwise.
I'd love him. I'd love him to get a spot, but he cops that one shot on the head, and then we don't have a half.
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of having a Connor Watson on the bench, as you said, because you've got a guy that can come in and play that role too. Damien Cook. No.
Souths are struggling. Yeah. I love Cookie. Great guy. Great player. No. But don't take him out of the South team. They need everyone. All hands on deck.
Yeah, well, my next guy is going to be Cody Walker as a half. No.
He's so good in Origin.
Yeah. Man of the match last year.
He is so good in Origin. Yeah. And
you know what? Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Go.
No, he's having a crack for South.
Yeah.
He's fucking having a crack. And congrats on your 200, Cody. For someone to debut at 26 and be 34, play 200 games, that's crazy. That's amazing, you know. But he's done it, and he's a natural footballer. He's one of my favourite footy players. Him and Cameron Munster are my two favourite footy players. They play off the cuff. They play what's in front. They're skillful. Man, I don't mind it, eh? Just because Souths are struggling so much, you put him in an environment where the team you're playing with the elite players, and he'll perform. It'll bring back confidence. It could bring confidence into his game that he can take back to the Rabbits again as well.
Well, question for you then. You've obviously got Moses and Hines in your halves. If Cody comes in, who comes out for you? Moses? So you'd have Hines and Cody?
Yeah, Hines can run it. And then Cody can be off the cuff. I really like what Ren said there. Like he could come in with the elite players, be refreshed.
Yep.
And then, mate, he could kill. Like he's trying hard.
He's trying.
He doesn't have much around him at the moment. And, and then he could take it back to South. So.
Hines and Cody have played together before in the Indigenous games. They've played together for the past 3 years too. So I think
that could be a huge spanner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was listening to Gus talk the other day, and he sort of implied that there's going to be a few spanners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Madge, there was rumours and all, he didn't give up any sources, but man.
He'd be in the know.
He'd be in the know. Cody and Nico. I like that.
I don't mind it at all either now.
Left foot kicker.
It's good. Scott Drinkwater.
Yeah, he's outstanding. Yeah. Like he's been in the mix for the last couple of years. I don't know where you'd put him.
You know what really throws a spanner in the works? Last year, he was picked at 18th man over Dylan Edwards.
Yeah, I remember that. Fuck, it's hard for Dylan, man. Like, you can't leave Teddy out.
I've got Teddy out. I've got Edwards.
That's brave.
Yeah.
Because Roosters are playing well. He's playing well. Yeah. He's the incumbent Australian captain, New South Wales captain. He's the Australian captain, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Nah, he hasn't played his way out of a jersey. Dylan Edwards, like a special. He's just unfortunately one of those players that had someone better in front of him at this point. Like there was.
Who was that half that had the play in front of him the whole time?
You had Gower and Shifty Sherwin that always had Joey in front of him. You had Luke Patton that had.
Who was Ricky always in front of? Ricky Stewart.
Alfie Langer.
Yeah,
yeah, that was rough.
Yeah.
That was hard. It was good for New South Wales because I love Sticky. But even Luke Patton, he always had like sort of Darren Lockyer in front of him. It's just they're such good talent, and they should have played a lot more representative footy, but they just had that one person in front of them that they couldn't leave out.
Now, a player that Madge has spoken to as well, Jesse Ramian.
Strong. I mentioned him last week, didn't I?
Yeah, he'll do a job.
Strong out of the backfield. Can finish. He finished on the weekend. Had like 3 players on him to score that try against Melbourne. He needed to score that.
Yeah.
Defensively, I just like Crichton over.
Yep.
Ramian.
I agree.
you got to have. Yeah, I think Critter. I wouldn't want two debutants next to each other if you went Lomax and Ramian.
Yeah.
I'd have Critter and Lomax. Or you'd have to go Ramian and Ramian and Critter on the wing. You couldn't have two debutants centre wing on the right edge. I don't think. That's my opinion.
Well, Lomax has played left before, so you could move.
You're not going to
the right.
Why would you do that?
He's always played right too.
He's a specialist left winger. Keep him on the left.
Right.
You don't need to. We don't need to start shuffling people around. There's enough people in those positions.
Yeah. Let's go to Queensland. Jermaine Hopgood.
Yeah, he's going good. He's trying. Yeah, but I don't think
He's like a clone of Cam Murray almost.
Yeah.
Not at that level yet, but his ball playing, his defence.
Yeah. He'll do a job. He'll do a good job.
Especially when there's a bunch of forwards out, he could really do a job there. So Bo Firma obviously filled in for Fifita in the back row. Obviously plays on the right-hand side now. Over the past 2 weeks, he has been killing it, running over 150 metres, 30-plus tackles. He was in the squad before he did his ACL 2 times in a row, which really hurt him. And, he's just been under that injury sort of cloud over the past few years.
And Queensland pick players sometimes you've never heard of. Or like I haven't. I'm not a diehard like yourself, Les, or Darcy. But you could usually put them in that jersey, they do a job. But like just on Titans, how good are they going?
Yeah.
Since you put AJ back to... But Desby just kicking himself thinking, why the fuck didn't I just put AJ at fullback earlier? He's so stubborn, man. This is the decision I'm making. I'm sticking with it. It's going to turn then... AJ's just killing it. He's injured now too.
Well, you know what? Guess who the Titans halves are this week? Sam Verrills is playing halfback and Chris Randall's playing 5'8".
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's their 2 rotation hookers playing in the halves. Aaron Clark's at 9.
Who are they playing? We'll get to that with the bets.
Yeah.
Sorry to go on a tangent.
That's all right. That's all right. Dane Gagai, how far is he off?
He wears a Queensland jersey under his Newcastle jersey. Yeah, he's like
Queensland legend.
Yeah. Yep. Does a job every time.
Would you have him over at Coates at this stage, with Coates not just to come back at the moment? Still from injury?
On the wing?
Yeah, on the wing. Him and Holmes.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad. He always performs for Queensland. Always. He's never had a bad game in a Queensland jersey.
All right, lads. Well, let's get straight into the tips. Beery, joining us again this week. How are we?
Oh, mate, it's good to be here, boys. I'm feeling good, mate. 11 out of 10. Gave myself a bonus point, so here I am.
Mate, we had a big weekend on the weekend at the Roosters game.
We did, mate. We had a bit of fun. We were at the Chookies game. We were roaming the crowd, mate. The crowd all there was good. My poor old Waz. You wonder where anxiety comes from. I think they only started becoming a thing once the Warriors were entered into the competition, but we won't talk about it. Look, I've got some stuff. What I want to say, guys, is a huge shout out to the Australian boxers. Andrew Maloney, my brother. Look, you got robbed. You won that fight. 100%. My brother, Georgie Cambosis, mate, you're a warrior. You don't pick and choose who you're going to fight. You fight the best of the best. So many boxers go out there and they want to just keep that zero, but you don't care. More Australians got to get behind Georgie and give him the respect he deserves. And a good mate of mine, Neeks Johnson. I don't know, obviously, boys, I'm sure you guys saw it, but for anyone that's watching, mate, hilarious. What happened was it was a title fight, a world title fight. They announced that the other girl won. I was at the pub. I blew up deluxe. I thought this has got to be a stitch up. I walked out of the pub. My mate called me a minute later. He's like, mate, you got to come back. I said, I'm not coming back. He said, well, you got to. I said, mate, she's won. I said, yeah, nice one, man. It's not April Fool's. Anyway, they then brought him back to the middle and then announced that she's won. It's never been done in history, but Neeks, I love you. I'm so proud of you. You go get him, Tiger.
Far out. Hectic.
I've got a bit more for you as well, my people.
Go for it, mate.
You guys know I've got my funniest moment of the round. And I've got a couple funny moments for you. Now, on Sunday, I was actually cooking a Sunday roast. Now, I want you to bring this photo up here because I actually paused the television. I went to go cook my Sunday roast. I came back and I was actually looking at a different type of roast. And, mate, I'll tell you what, I don't know, our rugby league players, they're a little bit multi-talented, mate. Not only could they do rugby league, but OnlyFans is big these days. And I must say to the Cowboys, I tell you what, I did a post today and I got a few people to write some comments, and I want to read a few of them out to you because some of the comments were all time. Let me tell you. So a few shout outs to a few of the people that have given me their details. All right. And obviously the Cowboys played. It was Queen_P. She said, where is... she goes, is that where our next win is? The next one was from Matty Piper. He goes, I'm not a doctor, but I'll take a look. Lukey Edwards, this is a beauty. He goes, I think my telescope's broken. It only seems to be focused on Uranus. And my brother Mikey, the Samoan warrior, he goes, when someone talks shit and you say, suck it from the back, but your mate takes it literally. And another one, Alex Twal, mate, you are a genius. I'll tell you what, mate, you're a jack of all trades. Now, let me tell you, I don't know the rugby league rule is it can only be one in a tackle. Mate, I don't know what was Didgeridoo doing there, mate. Seriously, I've never seen anything like it. Taking the old the hand spray out of the hand, that was one of the greatest ever. And then just casually puts it back. Mate, when you stop playing rugby league, bro, you got to get into poker or something. That was unbelievable.
Knights trainer had no idea as well. He's just there helping Tyson gamble with his ankles. And
mate, the way he looked back at him, it was absolutely gold. Honestly, man, Alex Twile, mate, full kudos to you, my brother. That was unbelievable.
Well, there you go. You can catch Beery's moments every week on the podcast when we go through before we go through our tips each week. Let's get into those tips, by the way. Now, a game we sort of discussed pre-recording is the Raiders and the Bulldogs. It's going to be a big one. For the Bulldogs. What are we thinking for this one? It's
big for both teams, but I mean, if Bulldogs want to be a genuine threat and really stamp their authority and stay in that 8, they've got to beat Canberra. Magic round, big test, and Canberra coming off a big win, go into a bye, they're going to be fresh. And Dogs coming off a tough Penrith game. I'm going to stick with my Dogs.
Yep. What about you, Darcy?
I think the Dogs, it's going to be a big test for them. I think the Dogs will have a little bit of confidence matching it with Penrith last week, so I'm going to go the Dogs this week.
And it's a game where if they win and Manly lose their game, obviously they go back into the top 8 as well. So it's a big game on all fronts. You've got Burton playing for an Origin spot. Beery, what are your thoughts, brother?
Well, mate, I'm actually on the Dogs bandwagon. After Reni said last week, he was very confident about the Penrith as well, just like I was my Cowboys. And I was sitting there watching going, mate, I reckon the Bulldogs can win. But I'm going to tip him this week, and I know Reni's on him as well.
Yeah, Speary, thanks, mate.
That's all good, my brother.
Well, my tipping record's not the best, but I want to go the Dogs. I don't know if that's a good or bad omen for you guys, but we'll find out. Seagulls and Broncos. Beery, I'll start with you this time, mate. What are we thinking?
You got to go the Bronx. The Bronx are on fire. I don't know what's going on with the Seagulls, man, but I know they've got a good win in them, but the Bronx are on.
Broncos for me.
Broncos at home.
All right. Titans and Knights. Reni, I'll start with you this time.
This is a tough pick. I mean, I know Titans are going to be missing a couple. I know AJ's out now too, isn't he?
Yep. Their halves are
Newcastle,
Sam
3 in a
Verrills,
row.
Chris Randall at the moment. The Titans.
Newcastle going for 4 in a row. I'm going the Knights. I'm going to stay on the train there. I think, too many injuries for the Titans.
Armstrong, a great player as well at fullback.
Yeah, playing really
He's
well.
playing well. He's playing really well.
Very, very well. What are you on?
Too many injuries for the Titans, so I'm going to go the Knights.
I'm on the Knights too.
Up the Knights. Sharks and Roosters. Beery, I'll start with you.
Oh, mate. You know what? I'm going to go the Sharkies. They played well last week, but, mate, that's a flip of the coin as well. I think the Sharkies could be there for a little bit of an upset.
What about yourself?
Roosters.
Yeah, look, you got Sharks. They got put to the test against Melbourne. They go down there and win. Roosters are flying. Great game. I'm going to stick with the Roosters.
Yeah,
I think the Roosters can beat the Sharks this week.
I like the Roosters as well. Just after last week, they were sensational. Rabbitohs and Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Thanks.
Cowboys.
Man, they're both struggling, really.
Boys, I've actually practically, if you drive down my street with CrossBet, obviously, if you were to put a bet on from my tips, mate, there wouldn't be too many people that have obviously have a house on the street because I've told everyone to put their house on the Cowboys, but we're 0-2, so.
You said to win the premiership
No,
too,
I'm still backing them. I'm telling you. Listen, they'll come good. I want you to come back to that footage
They
later.
actually haven't got a bad run over the next 5 weeks.
Mate, they'll come good. I don't know if you remember last year, they did come good at the end of the year, but we'll come back to the footage, boys. Don't worry. You're probably looking at me out thinking this is like 10 cents short of the dollar. Don't worry, I might be, but I'll be right.
Yeah, I got to go Cowboys. I can't go Rabbitohs again. Went for my team last week and did not go well at all. Warriors and Panthers. What are we thinking?
Panthers.
Penny Panthers, mate. You can't go against them.
Wild's defence not good at the moment. Panthers. Storm and Eels. Beery.
Storm are on again, plain and simple.
It's another rough week in our house this week. I'm going to go the Eels. They got to come through soon.
Is the other Lussick brother going to get hounded this week?
Oh, mate, one of them gets hounded every week. So, Eels, please, Eels.
Storm.
That young 5'8's doing a good job, I think.
Yeah.
He's doing a good job.
Yeah, it's good. Yep.
Ethan.
I thought it was a bit unfair when they dropped him. They gave him a start at 5'8", and then they dropped him and he's a centre. You know, it sort of didn't let him play in it, but I rate him. I think he's got a big future.
Yeah, and the Blaze Talangi kid to put a one-on-one tackle on Selwyn Cobbo last week too.
He's going to be a good player.
Yeah.
Blaze Talangi.
He's going to be a good
Yeah,
player.
they're kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah. But he wasn't scared, you know. He
Kid.
dropped that ball and then
Yeah.
he next play he's going for it. He's going to be good. Hopefully they don't lose
He's
him.
gone out to the market, hasn't he?
Yeah, so after that, like, maybe South.
Well,
Huh?
I'll take all we can get. Mate. I'm going to go Melbourne for this one as well. Tigers and Finns, the last game of the round. Beery, what are we thinking?
Man, how good are the Dolphins? Like, they just keep finding ways to win.
Yeah.
You know, they really do. Look, I'm actually not even a Tiger supporter. I just like saying the woo. So I'm going to go the Dolphins.
Perfect, mate. Perfect. So Finns up.
Fins up.
Finns up. What about you, Das?
Dolphins.
It'll be a high-scoring game. It'll be an entertaining game. I'm going to go for I think the Tigers are due for a win. I think they're due.
Yeah, I'm going to go for the Finns. I think Finns get up as well. In Queensland, they love playing at Suncorp. Going to go for the Finns. What's your special of the week this week, mate?
I've been excited to go around to the woo, 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 West Tigers, right? To go down there, do a bit of a street talk, right? And I looked on the app and I saw that they're obviously Tigers look to be playing at home. I said, boys, where are the Tigers playing this weekend? And Macey said, they're playing at Suncorp just like everyone else, Beery. Yeah, I thought, have my tail between my legs. But look, my special of the week, look, I'm going to have to go the Cowboys again. They got to come good. I'm going to back them 13 plus if I was to have a bet.
Perfect. What are we going for, Das?
This week I have 3 head-to-heads. Bulldogs, Roosters, Knights, and on crossbet, $3.95.
Lovely. Reni, what are we thinking?
Yeah, my cross bet up. I've gone Dogs head-to-head.
Mm-hmm.
Broncos head-to-head.
Yep.
Melbourne head-to-head with Coates anytime.
Yep.
Penrith head-to-head with To'o anytime.
Lovely.
I've also picked Kicks as an anytime try scorer
Yep.
if you want to have a little side bet. And Mariner as an anytime try scorer if you want to have a side bet.
He's even chucking the side bets in. Watch out.
Side
Love it.
bets, you know. I'm just throwing them all out there. Every angle.
Well, look, just in case they don't get up in your multi, your six legs multis, you can have them as a side bet.
He's got plenty of Johnny Cash, mate. He can afford it, don't
I wish.
All right, and I'm going this week with the Broncos, the Bulldogs, and the Panthers at $2.55, keeping it very simple after, obviously, my South Sydney Rabbitohs stuffed me last week. Thanks for hopping on for another week, lads. Keen to see how this weekend of footy goes. Hopefully no more hammy injuries, eh?
That'd be nice.
Very good.
And Dusty, good luck this weekend in the AFL game. Not sure who you're playing, but good luck.
What are you prepared to lose today? Set a deposit limit. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.